The Divide Within Israelite Doctrine, Who Has the Truth? Written by Nakamasha Yasharala. First, a word from our sponsors here at Heritage Weekly. Grab one of our books on Amazon if you would like to continue to see our content. Rich Young Ruler, The Deep Truth About Civil Rights, Identity and Deception. The Lawkeeper's Guidebook, How Law, History and Power Are Connected. Jacob's Trouble, Birth of a King. Understanding Biblical Prophecy. Prophecy over DNA, The Hidden Truth of Genetic Deception. The Freedom Articles exposing what they don't want you to know. This isn't just reading, it's a weapon. All available now on Amazon and Kindle. Back to your NAN content. The Divide Within Israelite Doctrine, Who Has the Truth? The divide between Yahweh Israelites, primarily camp-based 1611 KJV believers, and Yahweh Israelites, Sefer followers who accept Jubilees, Enoch, and Jasher exposes a deeper struggle within the awakening of Yasharala. This battle is more than just a debate over names, it represents the divide between warriors and civilians, between structured doctrine and emotional theology, and ultimately, between those who accept the supremacy outlined in the Torah, and those who soften the message to appease the world. The foundation of the divide, 1611 KJV versus Sefer theology. At the heart of this conflict is the issue of canon. Camps uphold the 1611 King James Bible with Apocrypha, sticking to texts preserved by Israelite scribes, while Sefer Israelites rely on a reconstructed, hybridized scripture that includes books rejected from mainstream canon. 1611 KJV camps, base doctrine on the Torah, prophets and writings as preserved in Hebrew tradition. The Apocrypha is included, but books like Jubilees, Enoch and Jasher are rejected due to lack of full manuscript preservation by Israelite scribes. Sefer Israelites accept texts from the Ethiopian Tewahedo canon, the Dead Sea Scroll fragments and medieval writings. They incorporate Jasher, a 17th century forgery, Enoch, incomplete DSS fragments, and Jubilees, only preserved in Ethiopian Christianity, into their doctrine, forming a theology outside of Israelite scribal authority. This divide creates two conflicting approaches to Scripture, one rooted in historical preservation and prophetic fulfillment camps, and the other in alternative interpretations mixed with Ethiopian and Kabbalistic influences. Sefer followers. Civilians versus warriors, the psychological divide. Beyond the text, there's a clear ideological split in the way these groups approach Israelite identity. 1611 Camp Israelites are the warriors. They embrace the hegemony outlined in the Torah, understanding that Israel was set apart to rule, not assimilate. They recognize that our awakening is a threat to world powers, which is why their aggression is warranted. Sefer Israelites are the civilians. They preach a softer, less confrontational approach, often calling camps hateful or black supremacists. In reality, their aversion to the camp doctrine comes from a misunderstanding of Israelite authority in the Torah. The law explicitly states Israel will rule over the nations, Deuteronomy, Isaiah, yet Sefer Israelites shrink away from this reality in favor of a universalist, less combative theology. This explains why many Sefer Israelites align with Western Christian pacifism, while 1611 camps take on the zeal of the prophets, judges and kings. Nehemiah was beating men, and pulling their hair for marrying heathen wives. Nehemiah 13:25. Yet Sefer Israelites would likely call that hateful. The Torah is a nationalistic book. It's about Israel's rise, fall and restoration to rulership, not universalist appeasement. The salvation debate. Who is Israel really fighting for? The real debate between Yahweh and Yahweh Israelites comes down to salvation. 1611 camps hold fast to Israelite exclusivity. Salvation is for Israel only, and the nations will serve under Yahweh's kingdom. Gentiles will have a position but not as equals. Isaiah 0:10-12. Revelation 13:9-10. Sefer Israelites tend to have a softer stance, often leaning into more inclusive views on salvation, sometimes bordering on the Christian doctrine that all nations can be saved. This comes from their reliance on Ethiopian Christianity's influence rather than the prophetic structure of Yahweh's covenant. This dilution of doctrine leads Sefer Israelites to attack camps for their exclusivity, accusing them of being hateful or racist when in reality, Torah commands Israel to rule the nations. The aggression of camps is not unjustified. It is the same zeal Nehemiah had, the same fire Elijah had, the same righteous anger Yahweh had when flipping tables in the temple. The missing element, the fruits of the Spirit. Despite the doctrinal and ideological differences, the most important missing element in these debates is how we engage each other as brothers and sisters. We cannot fight Esau, the nations and each other at the same time. Both Sefer Israelites and Camp Israelites have to remember that we are family, we are all under the curses. and we are all seeking the awakening of Yasharallah. Sefer Israelites must stop demonizing camps you cannot claim to be in the truth, and at the same time reject the national authority given to Israel in Torah. Stop calling brothers racist for upholding the hegemony Yahweh established. Camps must correct with wisdom. We are warriors, but warriors have discipline. Nehemiah wasn't wild, he was righteous in judgment. Israelite men must correct each other with fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22-23. Yahawashi was not soft, but he knew when to apply wisdom in how he rebuked people. If we truly believe Yahweh gathering the elect, then we need to trust his Spirit to do the work. It is not our job to bash each other into submission. We are called to teach, correct and bring clarity. Conclusion: the end of the divide? At the end of the day, this divide between Yahweh and Yahweh Israelites is rooted in doctrine, identity and approach. One side understands Israel's rightful place in rulership, while the other still struggles with the fear of fully embracing that role. However, we need each other more than ever. Camps must continue to uphold Torah supremacy, but with wisdom in correction. Sefer Israelites must stop compromising Israelite hegemony, and return to the preserved texts of our ancestors. The goal is not to destroy one another, the goal is to wake up the remnant. If we believe Yahweh is moving through Israel, we must operate in wisdom, in power and in unity. The awakening is happening, but only those who submit fully to the authority of Yahweh's word will endure to the end. Written by Christopher Turner, founder and editor-in-chief of Heritage Weekly.